Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into July 2nd, Friday. This will be a technical analysis breakdown. So if you're somebody that uses charts within your trading, or who knows, maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used for trade plan development and such, then this will be a video for you. And also on that note, very quickly, perfect timing. If you do like what you see as I go through the video and you're like, okay, yeah, charts seem very interesting. I'd like to either improve with them or just flat out learn more about them, how they should be used, how they can be used, then I am offering a live class this evening, 7 p.m. Eastern. So get signed up for it. And yes, it's truly live. And like I said, good timing. Now, if it's too last second, still get signed up because it will be recorded and then I'll email it out afterwards. But like I said, if you do enjoy what you're hearing as I go through the video here, then definitely get signed up. The first stock here, MRIN. I thought this one might have been kind of dead on Thursday. Volume just completely basically disappeared. But then today, you can see volume picked back up. Price made a very, very solid move upwards. Did pull back a little bit, but point here being the stock does seem to be back to life. But really two main levels to watch headed into Friday. The first one, all about that trend line right there. So that is certainly going to be that main breakout point where if there is going to be any sort of upwards move, keep an eye on that trend line. And if the price can push up through the trend line, then at that point, next key level to watch very closely would be the 1775 mark and then 1775 followed up there by that next level at, let's see, what is that? The high from today, right around $19.50. So yes, those levels in my mind seem very reasonable, but one hurdle at a time. That first key hurdle, again, going to be that trend line right there. And then as far as levels of support are concerned, the main level that, longs and shorts are going to be watching right there at the $14 mark, especially shorts. You got to be thinking that if the price does break down below there, then there's, a good chance that the price has a very, logical chance of getting down to at least the $12 mark. So, there's going to be shorts out there looking to get, 14 down to 12. So those would be the main areas of support. But all in all, point here being volume has returned. Now it's just a question of can the volume stay strong on Friday? And if it can, then yeah, we could see some very interesting action. Next one here, ticker symbol NIO, and this is what would be known as a gap and trap if you're new to charting or trading lingo. All that means is that the price closed there on Wednesday and then this morning opened up there, hence the gap up. But then, yeah, after the opening bell, I think some poor souls bought right there. And then from there, basically straight down the rest of the day. So yes, today individually was a gap and trap. However, taking a step back and looking at more than just today, the overall trend is still there. I mean, and I'm not saying that this is what's going to actually happen, but the price could, technically speaking, pull all the way down to, let's call it 49.25-ish. And again, not saying this will occur, but for explanation's sake. So the price could come down here, behave in that manner, then curl back upwards. And what would you still have from the big picture point of view? In fact, let me squeeze this down to offer up even more context. Well, from the big picture point of view, you'd still have a set of lows there. You'd have lows there. You'd have lows down here. And if you envision each of those as stair steps, well, overall, you still have stair steps progressing in the upwards direction. So yeah, today was a very brutal day. There's no doubt about it. A nasty bearish day, gap and trap. But again, emphasis being on the word today, as in one day. As I just showed, when you look at multiple days, the overall trend is still up. So we'll see if the price can, build upon the uptrend and ultimately, consolidate out, chip away, and build a higher base. If there is any sort of returns back upwards, first key area resistance to watch very closely, going to be right there at 52.50. But yeah, no doubt about it. Big pullback today, but we'll see if the price can start to do consolidating or not on Friday. Next one here, ticker AMC. And once again, this trend line continues to just kind of almost rub its face in the bulls, just say, yeah, you know what, bulls, we don't really care about you, because every single time, and it happened again today, the price broke above that red line, but we're not about breaking it. It's about maintaining it. And once again, the price could not do that. Now, these comments will make a little bit more to those that have watched the past videos, because I've been tracking AMC, been tracking this trend line for literally the past couple of weeks and talking about how that seems to truly be the key point, not in the sense of breaking above it, because the price has broken above it on many, many occasions. The problem is, okay, yeah, price breaks above it, but it hasn't been able to maintain above it and stay above it. So that's going to be the true test moving forward, is not breaking above that level, but staying above it. Big, big difference. And really, there's no better example of the difference being, well, than this very same chart here. So continue to watch that trend line there. Although after today, it's looking like the bottom part of this overall pattern may be coming back into play. That green line right there at 51.50. You can see the past times the price has been down around that general area. The buyers have stepped up very nicely. So I'm not saying that it is going to go down to 51.50. I'm just saying that given the current, downwards trajectory of things, it's looking like it's more than reasonable to think that the price could be headed down to 5150. So you're going to want to keep a close eye on that as that main area of support. Now, if the price breaks down below 5150, again, I'm not saying that the entire chart's destroyed, but yeah, at that point, things start to look a little bit shakier. But as of now, the price, hasn't even gone down to 5150. But nonetheless, these are definitely going to be those two main levels as we head into Friday. Next one here, ticker symbol DIDI, did this analysis yesterday after the IPO and talked about, the nice risk versus reward, opportunity. And, to anybody that maybe was, accumulating down there, congratulations. You got a very nice bounce today and it continued on up. So certainly some updates need to be made as we head into Friday here. But really the main dynamic here that I'm very curious about is that area right there of resistance that there's going to be a whole lot of breakout players watching, which sits right up there at the $17 mark. So you can see $17 was an area that rejected it back on Wednesday. And then once again today, Thursday, price got right up around that area and could not quite push through it. But my point here is that my ability to draw that resistance is not some sort of great talent. It's not a great discovery. I assure you, people that use charts, understand charts, are watching that level. And I say all that because when a whole lot of people are watching the same level, wondering the same thing, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can certainly produce some very dynamic movements. So while nothing is guaranteed, what I am saying is it's a more than valid, a more than rational thought to have that. If the price can work its way back up to 17 and get a break up through it, that break in and of itself could cause quite a bit of upwards buying pressure. So $17 is definitely going to be a very monitored level from the breakout standpoint. As far as levels of support, new level that I would call the ideal level, meaning what would make the chart look the best now moving forward would definitely be staying above 1575. But yeah, as far as I think the main dynamic moving forward, all eyes on 17. So let's see if the price can get the break above it or not. Next one here, ticker symbol ATHE, and I like this one just because it showed a whole lot of life. I mean, lots of life, lots of volume today. And then at least the kind of the carnage stopped. What carnage? Well, that 30 minutes right there got very, very nasty. I mean, it was cruising along and then it just started to collapse. And at that point, it became a question of, wow, how bad is this collapse going to get? And it was rough, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't terrible because then you can see the price all of a sudden leveled out. And this leveling out here is what makes it a very interesting scenario now moving into Friday, because while nothing is of course guaranteed, it's valid to think, okay, maybe this pullback, maybe this carnage right here is over, and maybe there's going to be a second round of life that comes to it, and not necessarily even puts it to new highs. But I mean, if you're looking at this potential breakout point right here at the top part of this little miniature channel at 225-ish, then I mean, even if the price did go up to highs around 275, that's still a 50-cent move. So really, you wouldn't even need the price to break to new highs. Now, of course, if it did decide to break to new highs, I don't think anybody would be complaining about that. But the point here being is there's a very now well-defined area of resistance right there. And then on the flip side of things, because of this channel, there's also now a very well-defined area of support. So there's going to be longs and shorts watching that area too. And that value is right there around the $2 mark. But point here being, from a technical point of view, there's a little miniature sideways channel pattern that has formed. So now on Friday, it's just a question of who's ultimately going to win out. Are the bulls going to win out with a break to the upside? Are the bears going to win out with a break to the downside? That all remains to be seen, but that's definitely the key question here headed into Friday. Next one here, ticker symbol WISH, and this will mean more to those of you that have watched past top 10 videos, but if you have, then hopefully remember me talking about that trend line over and over again. And yesterday, you can see the price on Wednesday came down to it, did a good job of holding above it, but today it could just no longer hold, and you can see the end result of that. Big move to the downside. So from a technical point of view, a rough day, just not because it was red, but because this trend line here, which had done such a good job of providing support, has now been violated. Now, does that mean this thing's collapsing down below $10? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that, yeah, this trend line had quite the track record, but that's now been, wiped away. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of both these lines here as they both serve their purpose for now. But as far as key levels of support and resistance now headed into Friday, next key level of support to watch very closely going to be right there at the $12 mark. And nothing fancy behind that other than the fact of this was a former area of resistance, and there's a foundational rule in charting which states when levels of resistance are broken and closed above, you want to see them act as support. And to give full credit where credit's due, it did act as support right there. So $12 will be that near-term area of support. If the price can't quite hold above there, next key level would then be down there right around 11.15. Now, if the price does decide to start to work its way back upwards, main area of resistance at that point going to be right up here around $12.90. So keep an eye on that. Then you also have the overarching purple line right there, the 50 period moving average. You can see that it's already begun to act as resistance right there. Currently valued at $13.50, but don't want to get too far ahead of yourselves. Let's just first see if the price can even get up above $12.90, and then you can turn your focus to that area right there. But as of right now, yeah, things are definitely looking shaky because of that trend line break, but maybe the price will, quickly consolidate and start to work its way back upwards. We'll see on Friday. We're now stepping down to the world of penny stocks here, looking at ticker symbol EEENF. Yes, I said 3 E's and then NF, and a very impressive pattern here has formed on well above average volume, and the pattern is all about the bull pull, bull pennant, but very roughly speaking, there is the pattern that has, and then for you golfers out there, make it more visual, we'll put the golf hole down there. So there is the bull pennant that has formed. So that's kind of the quick way to summarize it. And the reason it's a bull pennant is you have the nice overall trend. And the trend is, easiest seen by just watching that purple line there, the 50 period moving average, which you can see has a nice upward slope to it. So that's going to be the main dynamic here moving forward. Now, as far as more so kind of specific levels, as far as the pattern is concerned, what's going to make this pattern look the healthiest moving forward is definitely if the price can continue to hold above 0.026. So 0.026 is going to be that, I'm not going to call it a do or die level of support, because even if the price drops below there, that doesn't mean that the entire chart's now epically destroyed. But as far as just keeping the chart as healthy as possible, yeah, definitely staying above 0.026 will be important. And then as far as areas of resistance are concerned, at the end of the day, all eyes right up here at the 3 cent mark, 0.03, and nothing fancy behind that logic other than the fact of, well, that's just simply where the party finally stopped today. So keep a close eye on that. But overall, any way you look at it, very nice bullish pattern. Got the bull pennant. Now it's just a question of, can the bull pennant get continuation on Friday? Let's see how it closes out the week. Next one here, ticker symbol CEI. And this is one, I mean, I remember it from quite a while ago, and in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I remember this one. It's got the ability to move, and the good news is today, it seems as though it still has the ability to move because volume came back into it nicely, and it made a very, very respectable move, 64 cents, all the way up to 77 cents. So, a nice 13-cent move, which maybe doesn't sound like a lot, but we got to keep in mind we were talking about a penny stock here, right? Sub-dollar, so those percentages add up quick. And like EEENF, what a mouthful, the one we just looked at, nice pattern here. And you have a very well-defined breakout point for this pattern to get continuation. That sits right up there at 78 cents. So 78 cents is going to be that first key level, which, as I'm about to show, is pretty interesting because if that can be broken, then there's more upside room for this thing to keep on moving. And then as far as the level of support is concerned, going to go ahead and draw that line right there. Change that to green to represent that being an area of support. There we go. So yeah, once again, have a bull pennant pattern. I'll just, so draw that like there. We have that level, and then put the golf hole down there. So now some people, no, I think that's a bull flag. All right, I'm not going to argue about it. Whatever you want to call it, that's fine. The idea here is big move up, consolidating. Now it's just a question of, can it get that breakout? Now, if it can get the breakout, then next level of resistance, not until these highs from, several weeks ago back here, which sit up around the 84 cent mark. Now, that doesn't mean that if it breaks to the upside, it's automatically guaranteed to go up to 84 cents. My point here is that you just look back through the history of the chart, and there just isn't anything up there. So it's basically a little miniature blue sky breakout right there. But those will be the main dynamics here. Now, if it can get up to 84 cents and break up through there, I mean, that's just going to make the chart look that much more powerful. But as of right now, very nice setup here headed into Friday. Next one here, ticker symbol PLTR, and there's no need to hold back. A very rough, very nasty day on this one. Again, not necessarily just because it was a red day, but from a technical point of view, the red day came in the sense of, well, it broke down below that pink line there, which on my chart denotes the very well-known, the very famous 200 period moving average, and that's one of those areas where pullbacks are okay, but I mean, you want to see prices stay above that moving average because that does imply that the overall trend is still bullish. But with the breakdown below there, like I said, just from a technical point of view, that's just not what you want to see. And in fact, a classic example of the support then turned into resistance as the very next candle, the price tried to bounce back upwards during that next 30 minutes, but right there, classic example of that support acting as resistance. So point here being that if there is any sort of attempted bounce back to the upside, 25.60, the value of that pink line is going to be that first key battleground that the bulls will have to fight up through. But at this point, very clear, a lot of downwards pressure showed up today. So the most logical question becomes, okay, well, where are some of these next potential areas of support where the price could find a bid and could at least stop going down and not necessarily bounce right off of, but at least get some consolidation. And the next key level to watch right down there at 24.50. If 24.50 does not quite hold up, then the next level of support after that would then be down there right around 24.15. So 24.50, 24.15, the next couple of nearest levels of support. Now, if the price crashes down through those, I suppose I'll probably be back to update where those next potential bounce points are. But I don't want to map out too many because as of now, the price hasn't even violated 24.50. But again, from the support side of things, 24.50, 24.15, next key levels of support. Next one here, ticker symbol SRNE. And this looks like, and this is kind of a good example of these bull pennants that I've been talking about. So it had a bull pennant, but the difference with this one being the bull pennant has actually already broken out. So thanks to the last 30 minutes, as this volume came surging back in, the pattern has already broken out. So in kind of trading jargon and technical jargon, the breakout has occurred. So going into Friday, the breakouts happen, which brings about the question of, okay, yeah, breakouts happen, but is there going to be any sort of continuation of the breakout? So that's really the pressing question right there. But before we get to that, I just want to map out that trend line right there. Because in my mind, that's going to be a trend line where if you're saying, okay, Clay, yeah, I understand that it's broken out, but I mean, how can we gauge the health of the breakout? How can we gauge the true strength of the breakout? And in my opinion, as long as the price stays above that trend line, then the breakout's in full health, and you know, there's nothing wrong with it. Unfortunately, breakouts can't just go straight up. There are going to be pullbacks. There are going to be consolidation periods. But again, as long as pullbacks and all that maintain above that trend line, then like I said, I would say that's a perfectly healthy breakout and, you know, nothing to be concerned about. But who knows? Maybe this thing does keep on moving. So where are these next potential areas of resistance at? And for this, as you're seeing here, having to squeeze down the chart quite a bit because it has been a long time since the price has been up this high. Wow. So here are some annotations I put on it from a long time ago. Get those out of the way. All right, there we go. So let's see. Next potential battleground. Let's see. Did it break above that? Oh, nice. It did. What about, okay, right there. 1150. Next key battleground. And then after 1150, in case this thing really just continues to build momentum, after 1150, next key level up there right around 1215. So those will be the next key battlegrounds to watch moving forward. But all in all, anyway, look at it. Got the breakout. And now it's just a question of how much more momentum can be built upon this breakout. Well, Friday is going to be a very interesting day. So that wraps up the top 10 stocks here. And like I said, if you did enjoy, if you're wanting to learn more now or just kind of understand more so the philosophy behind them, how I use charts to build consistency and all of that and quite a bit more, then yeah, like I said, it is literally tonight. So Thursday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Sometimes people get confused. 7 p.m. Eastern time. Get signed up. Like I said, totally free. And if you can't make it, still sign up because I'll email out the recording afterwards. But I'd love to have you. If you're, you know, now maybe a little passionate, maybe a little bit more curious, then I love to talk charts. I love to talk the philosophies, the strategies, how they should be used, how they can be used. And we'll get into all of that. And quite frankly, just the power that they give you, the flexibility that they give you as a trader. So get signed up, like I said, if you're interested. And then as far as this video, if you want me to keep making these top 10 videos, then there's two things you can do to very easily communicate that to me. Hit that like button, leave a comment down below, even if it's just a thumbs up emoji. But those two things go a long way in telling me that you enjoy this format and these top 10 videos. So just let me know that. And then, like I said, yeah, get signed up for the class if you're interested. And if you do, then I'll be seeing you very soon.